You watch your pigeons eat every day, pecking at seeds, tossing grain, swallowing whole kernels without chewing. It looks simple, routine, but beneath that calm surface, something extraordinary is happening. Inside their bodies, a complex, highly specialized digestive system is transforming dry, hard seeds into energy, strength, and life. And if you don't understand how it works, even the best intentions can go wrong. You might think you're feeding them well, high-quality seed mix, clean water, maybe a supplement, but if you're ignoring how their digestion actually functions, you could be setting them up for crop stasis, sour crop, gizzard impaction, or chronic malnutrition. This isn't just about what goes in, it's about what happens after. In this first part, we begin at the very start, the beak and the crop. The journey of food begins with the beak. Unlike mammals, pigeons don't chew. Their beak is designed for precision picking, not grinding. They use it to select individual seeds, discard husks, and swallow whole grains. Once picked, the food travels down the esophagus and into the crop, a soft, expandable pouch located at the base of the neck. The crop is not just a storage tank. It's the first stage of digestion. Here, food is moistened, softened, and partially broken down by enzymes in saliva and crop secretions. The crop also plays a critical role in parental care. Adult pigeons produce crop milk and nutritious secretion fed to squabs during their first days of life. But the crop is delicate. It depends on proper hydration, balanced microbial flora, and regular emptying. When any of these fail, problems arise. Crop stasis occurs when the crop stops moving. Food sits, ferments, and turns acidic, leading to sour crop, a dangerous condition caused by yeast overgrowth. Symptoms include a swollen, doughy crop in the morning, foul-smelling breath, regurgitation, and lethargy. Many keepers mistake this for a minor issue. They withhold food, give antibiotics, or force feed. But the real solution lies in understanding why the crop stopped. Common causes include dehydration, stress, sudden diet change, ingestion of moldy feed, or infection. Prevention starts long before symptoms appear. First, ensure your pigeons have access to fresh, clean water at all times. Dehydration is a silent killer of crop function. Second, avoid feeding only dry seed. Dry food absorbs moisture from crop, slowing movement. Instead, offer moistened or fermented feed, which jumpstarts digestion. Fermented grain, soak seeds, or boiled corn are excellent choices. Third, support the crop's natural microbiome. Just like the human gut, the crop hosts beneficial bacteria that aid digestion. Antibiotics, chlorinated water, or poor hygiene can destroy these microbes. To restore balance, introduce probiotics naturally through yogurt, sauerkraut juice, or fermented feed. I've used fermented barley and wheat in my loft for years. The birds love it, and crop issues have dropped dramatically. Fourth, never feed moldy or dusty feed. Mold, spores, and dust irritate the crop lining, trigger inflammation, and weaken motility. Always store feed in airtight containers, away from moisture and pests. Fifth, reduce stress. Sudden changes, new birds, loud noises, transport, disrupt crop function. Keep routine consistent. If a bird does develop crop stasis, don't rush to chemicals. Try natural remedies first. A warm Epsom salt bath can relax muscles and stimulate movement. Gently massaging the crop in circular motions helps release trapped gas and move food forward. Offer small amounts of warm water with a pinch of baking soda to neutralize acidity. For mild sour crop, crushed garlic in water has proven antifungal properties. Allicin in garlic inhibits yeast growth without harming good bacteria. Use half a clove per liter, given once daily for 2 days. Never force feed unless absolutely necessary. It can worsen impaction. Instead, let the crop rest. Withhold dry seed for 12 to 24 hours. Offer only warm water and electrolytes. Then reintroduce food slowly, starting with soft, easily digestible options. Monitor closely. Recovery should begin within 24 hours. If not, consult a vet. The crop is not just a holding chamber. It's a foundation of healthy digestion. When it works, the entire system thrives. When it fails, everything downstream suffers. Understanding its role, moisture, movement, microbial balance, is a first step toward truly feeding your pigeons right. From the crop, food moves into the next chamber, the proventriculus, also known as a glandular stomach. This is where true chemical digestion begins. Unlike the crop, which stores and moistens, the proventriculus secretes powerful digestive juices, hydrochloric acid and enzymes like pepsin, that start breaking down proteins and fats in food. It's a highly acidic environment, similar to the human stomach, designed to dissolve complex molecules into simpler forms the body can absorb. But this delicate process depends on balance. Too much acid without enough food leads to irritation. Too little acid due to poor nutrition or illness means incomplete digestion. And if something blocks a passage from the crop to the proventriculus, like a large seed or compacted feed, the entire system backs up. One of the most common issues at this stage is proventricular impaction, where undigested material builds up and prevents normal flow. This isn't always obvious. The bird may still eat, but slowly. You might notice it drinking more water than usual, stretching its neck after eating, or showing mild discomfort. Left untreated, impaction worsens, leading to vomiting, weight loss, and eventually starvation, even though food is available. Prevention starts with proper feeding practices. Never give oversized seeds or hard grains that are difficult to break down. Avoid feeding only dry mixes. They absorb moisture and swell inside the proventriculus, increasing pressure. Instead, soak or ferment seed before offering them. Soaking softens the outer shell and activates enzymes that begin predigestion. Fermentation goes further. Beneficial bacteria partially break down proteins and carbohydrates, making nutrients easier to access. I've used fermented wheat, barley, and peas in my loft for over a decade. The difference is clear. Birds digest faster, droppings are more consistent, and proventricular issues are rare. Another key factor is hydration. Pigeons need constant access to clean water because their digestive fluids are water-based. Dehydration thickens gastric secretions, slowing digestion and increasing the risk of blockages. In hot weather or during molting, when metabolic demands are high, offer extra water, even add a pinch of natural electrolytes like crushed banana peel or coconut water, unsweetened, to support fluid balance. Stress also plays a major role. High cortisol levels suppress digestive enzyme production, weaken muscle contractions, and disrupt acid balance. Birds under stress, from overcrowding, predator threats, or social conflict, often develop slow digestion, even if their diet is perfect. To reduce stress, ensure your loft has enough space, perches, and nesting areas. Avoid sudden changes. Keep routine predictable. For birds recovering from illness or transport, support digestion gently. Offer soft foods like scrambled egg, boiled corn, or mashed pumpkin. These are easy to process and provide essential nutrients without strain. If a bird shows signs of proventricular distress, bloating, regurgitation, refusal to eat, don't reach for antibiotics immediately. First, assess the cause. Is the diet too dry? Has there been a sudden change? Is the bird dehydrated or stressed? Address these factors first. with whole dry seed for 12 to 24 hours. Offer warm water with a small amount of apple cider vinegar, 1 teaspoon per liter. Apple cider vinegar helps normalize pH, supports good bacteria, and aids in dissolving minor blockages. You can also give a few drops of fresh aloe vera juice, not the gel from a bottle, but juice squeezed from a leaf, which soothes irritated mucous membranes and promotes healing. Aloe has been used in avian care for decades to calm inflamed digestive tracts. Use only pure, organic aloe, and no more than 0.5 milliliters per adult bird, once daily for 2 days. Monitor closely. If there's no improvement within 24 hours, consult a vet. Never force feed or use strong laxatives. They can rupture delicate tissues. The Proventriculus is not just a chemical reactor, it's a sensitive organ that reflects overall health. When it functions well, proteins and fats are broken down efficiently, energy levels rise, feathers shine, and immunity strengthens. When it fails, the birds starve from the inside, even with a full crop. Supporting it naturally through moisture, fermentation, stress reduction, and gentle herbal aids ensures the journey of digestion continues smoothly. This is not about forcing food through the system. It's about creating the right conditions for nature to do its job. After the Proventriculus breaks down food with acid and enzymes, it passes into the next and most powerful chamber of the pigeon's digestive system, the gizzard, also known as the muscular stomach. This is where mechanical digestion takes place, a process so intense that it can crush seeds, grind grains, and pulverize fibrous material into a digestible paste. The gizzard is made of thick, muscular walls that contract rhythmically, squeezing food between layers of tough keratinous lining. But it cannot do this work alone. It needs help in the form of grit. Grit refers to small, hard particles like sand, tiny stones, or crushed oyster shell that pigeons intentionally swallow. These particles remain in the gizzard and act like teeth, grinding against the food with each contraction. Without grit, the gizzard becomes ineffective. Seeds pass through whole, nutrients go unabsorbed, and over time, malnutrition sets in, even if the bird is eating well. Yet many keepers overlook this critical need. They assume commercial feed contains everything, or that birds will find grit on their own. In reality, indoor lofts, clean floors, and wire cages deprive pigeons of natural grit sources. And not all grit sold commercially is suitable. Some mixes are too soft, others contain unnecessary additives. The best grit is a combination of 2 types, soluble and insoluble. Soluble grit, like crushed oyster shell or limestone, dissolves slowly in the acidic environment of the Proventriculus and provides essential calcium for bone health, eggshell formation, and nerve function. Insoluble grit, such as flint grit, granite chips, or fine river sand, does not dissolve. It stays in the gizzard, providing the abrasive action needed for grinding. Both are necessary. I provide my birds with a small dish of mixed grit at all times, never mixed into feed, always separate. This allows each bird to self-regulate based on its individual needs. Young squabs, growing birds, and laying hen consume more soluble grit. Adults in flight or molting may need more insoluble grit for better digestion. Watch your birds. If they are pecking at concrete, floor cracks, or metal fixtures, they are telling you they need grit. Ignoring this signal leads to poor digestion, weak droppings, and eventually weight loss. Another common issue is gizzard impaction. When undigested material, especially dry or fibrous feed, builds up and blocks the gizzard. Symptoms include reduced appetite, lethargy, a hard swelling in the lower chest area, and infrequent or absent droppings. In severe cases, the bird stops eating entirely. Impaction often follows prolonged feeding of only dry seed, lack of water, or ingestion of foreign objects like plastic fibers, string, or feathers. Prevention starts with proper diet management. Always moisten dry seed before feeding, especially in winter when water intake drops. Soaked or fermented grain swells before it reaches the gizzard, reducing expansion pressure inside. Avoid giving long strands of hay, straw, or nesting material that can tangle and block the digestive tract. Keep the loft clean. No loose threads, no synthetic butter can be ingested. Hydration is crucial. A dehydrated gizzard cannot contract the chest. Muscles weaken, movement slows, and food stagnates. Ensure fresh water is available at all times, during hot weather or after meals. Consider adding a pinch of natural electrolytes, like fresh banana fluid, coconut water, and sweeteners, or a small amount of molasses to support fluid balance and muscle function. If a bird shows signs of gizzard distress, act early. Withhold dry seed for 24 hours. Offer warm water with a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar per liter. This helps soften compacted material and supports healthy microbial activity. You can also give a few drops of fresh aloe vera juice, 0.5 milliliters per adult bird, to soothe inflammation. Gentle abdominal massage may help stimulate movement, but never force it. For mild cases, this approach often works within 24 to 48 hours. If there's no improvement, or if the bird becomes weak and listless, seek veterinary help immediately. Never attempt to flush the gizzard with oil or syringes. This can cause aspiration or rupture. The gizzard is not just a grinder, it's a vital engine of digestion. When it runs smoothly, nutrients are released efficiently, energy flows, and the bird thrives. When it fails, the entire system grinds to a halt. Supporting it naturally with the right grit, proper hydration, moistened feed, and stress-free living ensures that every seed your pigeon eat becomes fuel for life. From the gizzard, the now pulverized food moves into the small intestine, the longest and most critical section of the pigeon's digestive tract. This is where the real magic happens, nutrient absorption. The small intestine is a coiled tube lined with millions of microscopic structures called villi and microvilli, tiny finger-like projections that increase surface area and act like sponges, soaking up broken-down proteins, fats, carbohydrates, vitamins, and minerals from digested food. These nutrients pass through the intestinal wall and into the bloodstream, where they are transported to every cell in the body, building feathers, repairing tissues, fueling flight, supporting immunity, and enabling reproduction. But this delicate process depends on three key factors: integrity of the gut lining, balance of gut flora, and quality of pre-digested food. If any one of these fails, absorption drops, no matter how good the diet seems. One of the most common but overlooked issues is leaky gut syndrome, a condition where the intestinal lining becomes inflamed or damaged, creating tiny gaps between cells. When this happens, undigested food particles, toxins, and bacteria can leak into the bloodstream, triggering immune responses, chronic inflammation, and systemic stress. The bird may appear healthy on the outside, eating well, active, but inside, it's slowly weakening. Signs include dull plumage, poor feather growth, unexplained weight loss, frequent infections, and loose droppings. Many keepers misdiagnose this as a parasite problem or vitamin deficiency, but the root cause is often dietary imbalance, antibiotic use, or exposure to irritants like moldy feed or chlorinated water. To support the small intestine naturally, we must heal the gut lining and restore microbial balance. The best tool for this? Plantain, Plantago major, not to be confused with a banana-like fruit. This humble weed, often pulled from gardens as a nuisance, contains a powerful compound called mucilage, a gel-like substance that coats and soothes irritated mucous membranes. When ingested, plantain forms protective layer over inflamed areas of the intestine, reducing irritation and allowing damaged tissue to repair itself. Studies in avian medicine have shown that plantain significantly improves nutrient absorption in birds recovering from digestive stress. I've used fresh or dried plantain leaves in my loft for years, either chopped finely and mixed into moist feed or brewed as a cool tea and added to drinking water. For birds showing signs of poor absorption, I give plantain tea twice daily for 5 days. The results are clear. Droppings become firmer, feathers regain shine, and energy levels rise. Another essential ally is probiotics, beneficial bacteria like lactobacillus and bifidobacterium that live in the gut and help break down food, produce vitamins, especially B-complex and K, and block harmful pathogens. Antibiotics, poor diet, or stress can wipe out these good microbes, leaving the bird vulnerable. Instead of relying on commercial powders, I use natural sources, plain yogurt, live cultures only, fermented grain, sauerkraut juice, unsalted, unpasteurized, or kefir whey. Just a few drops per bird, offered once or twice a week, makes a noticeable difference. Fermented feed is especially effective. During fermentation, lactic acid bacteria predigest complex molecules, making nutrients more bioavailable and creating an ideal environment for gut health. I ferment wheat, barley, and peas for 2 to 3 days before feeding. The birds love the sour taste, and their digestion runs smoother than ever. Fiber also plays a crucial role. Unlike mammals, pigeons don't have a cecum for fermenting fiber, but they still need roughage to keep the digestive tract moving. Too little fiber leads to sluggish intestines and constipation. Too much, especially from coarse sources, can cause blockages. The right balance comes from varied diets, seeds, greens, soaked legumes, and occasional fruits like pumpkin or apple. Pumpkin, in particular, is excellent. Rich in soluble fiber, it supports smooth intestinal movement and even has mild deworming properties thanks to cucurbitacin. I offer small pieces once a week, especially during molting or breeding seasons when metabolic demands are high. Hydration remains essential. Without enough water, the contents of the small intestine dry out, slowing transit and reducing absorption. Always ensure clean water is available. In hot weather or after long flights, add a pinch of natural electrolytes, coconut water, unsweetened, mashed banana, or molasses to maintain fluid balance. Avoid giving sugary drinks or artificial supplements. They disrupt gut flora and feed harmful yeasts. The small intestine is not just a pipe, it's the gateway to health. When it functions well, your pigeon thrives from the inside out. When it's compromised, no amount of food will make up for lost absorption. Supporting it naturally, with healing herbs like plantain, probiotic-rich foods, proper fiber, and hydration, ensures that every nutrient counts. After the small intestine absorbs the majority of nutrients, what remains moves into the large intestine, and then the cloaca, the final stages of the digestive journey. Unlike mammals, pigeons do not have a long colon or a separate bladder. Instead, their large intestine is short and primarily responsible for water reabsorption and electrolyte balance. From there, waste passes into the cloaca, a multi-purpose chamber that serves as the exit point for digestive waste, urinary waste, in the form of uric acid, and reproductive cells. This unique anatomy means that droppings are a complex mixture of feces, urine, and sometimes mucus, and their appearance can tell you more about your pigeon's health than almost any other sign. Normal droppings should be firm but not hard, with a white cap of uric acid on top. The color varies depending on diet: green from leafy greens, dark from seeds, reddish if beetroot is fed, but sudden changes in consistency, volume, or smell are red flags. Loose droppings or diarrhea are among the most common issues reported by pigeon keepers, yet they are often misunderstood. Diarrhea isn't always caused by infection. In fact, many cases stem from dietary imbalance, stress, or gut flora disruption rather than bacteria or parasites. True diarrhea, watery, frequent droppings, differs from polyuria, excess urination, which can look similar but is actually the body eliminating excess fluid. Overhydration, kidney stress, or certain foods like cucumber or watermelon can cause polyuria without digestive illness. To distinguish between them, observe closely. If the white uric acid portion is diluted or spread out, it's likely polyuria. If the fecal matter itself is liquid and unformed, it's true diarrhea, a sign that the large intestine isn't reabsorbing water properly. Common causes include spoiled feed, sudden diet changes, mold exposure, or overuse of antibiotics. Parasites like coccidia or worms can also disrupt intestinal function, but so can emotional stress, especially during transport, breeding, or introduction of new birds. Prevention starts with consistency. Keep feeding routine stable. Avoid abrupt switches in diet. Introduce new foods gradually over 5 to 7 days. Store feed in sealed containers away from moisture and pests to prevent mold growth. Moldy grain produces mycotoxins, invisible poisons that damage the liver, weaken immunity, and irritate the entire digestive tract. Even small amounts can cause chronic loose droppings. Always inspect feed before giving it. Discard anything dusty, clumped, or musty-smelling. Hydration plays a dual role. Too little water leads to dry, compacted droppings and gizzard impaction. Too much, especially cold or chlorinated water, can shock the system and trigger loose stools. Offer fresh, room-temperature water daily. In hot weather, add natural electrolytes like coconut water, unsweetened, or mashed banana to maintain balance without chemicals. Stress reduction is equally important. Pigeons are sensitive creatures. Loud noises, predators, overcrowding, or unstable social hierarchies elevate cortisol levels, which directly suppress digestive function. A stressed bird may eat less, digest poorly, and show signs of gut imbalance, even with perfect food. To support intestinal health naturally, several herbs prove invaluable. Plantain leaves, Plantago major, continue to shine here. Their mucilage soothes irritated intestinal linings, reduces inflammation, and helps normalize stool consistency. I've used plantain tea as a preventive measure during high-risk periods like molting or post-race recovery. 1 cool cup per liter of drinking water, offered for 3 days, often stops mild diarrhea before it worsens. Garlic, in small doses, acts as a natural antimicrobial, inhibiting harmful bacteria like E. coli and Salmonella without wiping out beneficial flora. Half a crushed clove per liter of water, given once daily for 2 days, supports gut balance safely. Blackberry leaves are another powerful ally. Rich in tannins, they tighten intestinal tissues, reduce secretion, and help firm up loose droppings. I dry and crumble them into a powder, then steep 1 tablespoon per liter of boiling water, cool completely, and offer as a one-time treatment. Never use for more than 2 days. Prolonged use can lead to constipation. Fiber balance matters too. Too little fiber slows transit. Too much, especially in soluble types, can cause blockages. The ideal comes from variety, soaked seeds, leafy greens, pumpkin, and occasional oats. Fermented feed improves motility by supporting healthy bacterial activity. I avoid commercial laxatives or chemical treatments unless absolutely necessary. Most cases resolve with dietary correction, hydration, and herbal support. Monitor droppings daily. Learn what normal looks like for your flock. Sudden changes demand attention, but not panic. Often, a simple adjustment is all it takes. The large intestine and cloaca are not just waste exits. They are vital regulators of fluid, balance, and overall well-being. When they function well, your pigeon stays hydrated, energized, and resilient. When they falter, early intervention makes all the difference. Supporting them naturally with clean feed, proper hydration, stress control, and healing herbs ensures that elimination is as healthy as digestion. Now that we followed the entire journey, from beak to cloaca, you can see that a pigeon's digestive system is not just a simple tube, but a finely tuned, interconnected network of organs, each playing a vital role in turning food into life. Every stage depends on the one before it. A blockage in the crop halts everything downstream. Poor acid production in the Proventriculus means proteins go undigested. Without grit, the gizzard cannot grind. If the small intestine is inflamed, nutrients are lost. And if the large intestine fails to reabsorb water, dehydration follows. This is why isolated fixes rarely work. You can't treat diarrhea without understanding what happened in the crop. You can't improve feather quality without knowing how digestion affects nutrient absorption. True health begins with holistic awareness. Seeing your pigeon not as a machine to be fueled, but as a living being whose internal processes reflect its environment, diet, and emotional state. The beauty of this system is that it's designed to heal itself when given the right conditions. You don't need synthetic drugs or expensive supplements to keep it running. What it needs is clean water, moistened or fermented feed, access to proper grit, a stress-free environment, and natural support when imbalances occur. These aren't luxuries, they're essentials. I've used this knowledge in my own loft for over 12 years, across racing homers, showbirds, backyard pets, and breeding pairs. And the results speak for themselves. Fewer illnesses, stronger squabs, better performance, and longer lifespans. No antibiotics, no chemical dewormers, just observation, consistency, and respect for biology. One of the most powerful tools I've found is fermented feed. By allowing grains to ferment for 2 to 3 days in clean water, I've seen digestion improve dramatically. Birds eat more eagerly, droppings become consistent, and even older pigeons regain vitality. Fermentation pre-digests complex molecules, increases vitamin content, especially B vitamins, and introduces beneficial lactic acid bacteria that support gut flora. It's like giving your pigeons a daily probiotic boost, naturally. Another game changer has been herbal integration. Instead of waiting for illness to strike, I use healing plants preventively. Plantain for gut lining, garlic for microbial balance, fenugreek for hormone and digestive support, nettle for mineral richness. These aren't emergency treatments. They are part of a seasonal rhythm. I run short herbal cycles twice a year, once before breeding season, once after molting. Each lasts 5 to 7 days. This keeps the system resilient without overuse. You might wonder if wild pigeons do this naturally. Interestingly, yes, feral pigeons often peck at aromatic herbs like thyme, oregano, and plantain when available. They also seek out grit, drink from clean sources, and avoid moldy food. They don't get perfect nutrition, but they follow instinctive patterns that support health. By mimicking these behaviors, offering variety, moisture, natural remedies, we align with nature instead of fighting. Prevention is always better than cure. That's why I encourage every pigeon keeper to observe daily. Watch how your birds eat. Check their droppings each morning. Feel the crop in the evening. Notice their energy levels, feather condition, and breathing. Small changes today can prevent big problems tomorrow. Keep records. Note when you change feed, introduce herbs, or notice symptoms. Over time, you'll learn what works best for your flock. And don't be afraid to adjust. Flexibility is part of good stewardship. Some fanciers worry about taste rejection. In my experience, most pigeons accept moistened or fermented feed quickly, especially if
Böyle bir
introduced
takım
gradually.
rosto.
Start by mixing a
Fiyat
small
2000
amount
lira.
with dry seed.
Kuşlar
Increase
görüldüğü
over
gibi.
10 days. Add flavors they love. Scrambled egg, molasses, or apple cider vinegar. Never force feed. Let them adapt at their own pace. Others ask about cost. This approach isn't expensive. Grit costs pennies. Herbs grow in gardens or roadsides. Fermenting feed requires only a jar and water. Compared to vet bills, medications, or lost birds, it's the smartest investment you'll make. And when you see your pigeons thriving, whether it's a racing homer flying strong, a show trumpeter with shiny plumage, or a pet roller nesting peacefully, you'll know you're feeding them the way nature intended. This isn't magic. It's biology working as it should. Thank you for watching.